Man, what's good, YouTube? It is your boy Paul Eclipse, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to give you guys my top 5 weapons and loadouts for those weapons in Warzone Season 2. If you guys need more tips and tricks videos, or if you just enjoy watching Warzone content, please subscribe to my channel because I have plenty of Warzone videos planned in the future, and I know you guys will enjoy the videos. And please drop a like on the video because it makes me a really happy person and it makes me smile at the end of the day. But no, seriously, on a serious note, I really would appreciate the like. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. At number 5, the first weapon that we have for Warzone Season 2 is, of course, the Kilo. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was a pretty hard decision for me because I was kind of decided between the Kilo and the MP5. Lots of people have started using the MP5 because the MP5 is one of the better submachine guns in the game, especially after all the nerfs. And after the Kilo got nerfed and replaced with one of the weapons that I'm going to speak about later in the list, you don't really see a lot of people running the Kilo. But honestly, in my opinion, even though the Kilo was nerfed, it's still a great long-range choice to run, especially if you're running a weapon that's good at medium to close ranges and you need to switch to a better weapon for longer distances. As you guys know, the Kilo was one of the most powerful assault rifles in earlier seasons of Warzone, and pretty much anyone used it with the meta class, but it's not really used that much anymore. But honestly, if you don't really want to continue to use the meta, if you want to be different from everyone else, especially in this season, then the Kilo is a great gun to do it, and the Kilo is still, without a doubt, one of the best assault rifles in the game. As I said earlier, the Kilo is really useful for long-range gunfights. If you see someone far away, you won't be able to hit them with that submachine gun or that close-range assault rifle. You can go ahead and switch to your Kilo and give them some work from long range. And as I said before, the Kilo was definitely the most used assault rifle and the best assault rifle for long-range gunfights in earlier seasons of Warzone. So now I'm going to give you guys the class setup that I will run with the Kilo. For your primary weapon, you want to go with the FFAR 1. The FFAR is best assault rifle currently as it states in Warzone, but the weapon is really good for short to medium range gunfight. And here are the attachments you want to have on the FFAR. You want to have an agency suppressor as your muzzle. You want to have the 17.9 barrel, and you want to have that barrel because it increases your damage range. You want to have the Raider stock on for more mobility. Then you want to top off the ammunition with the 50 round mag, and you want to have a SARS jungle grip for more flinch resistance and a faster aim down sight time. For your secondary weapon, you want to go with the Kilo. For your attachments, you want to go with the monolithic suppressor. It is the best suppressor for the Kilo. For the barrel, you want to go with the 16.6 inch SOCOM. For your optic, you want to go with the VLK 3.0x optic. You want to top off your ammunition with the 50 round mag. For the rear grip, you want to go with the stipple grip tape. For your perks for this class setup, you want to go with double time, so then you're able to run longer distances for a longer time. For your perk 2, you want to have overkill, and for your perk 3, you want to have amp, so you're able to switch between your primary and your secondary weapon as fast as possible. For your lethal grenade, you want to have a Semtex grenade, and for your tactical grenade, you want to run a heartbeat sensor. I personally run that, so I see some people running flashes and stun grenades, but it's up to you. Fourth best weapon currently in Warzone Season 2 is definitely, without a doubt, the MAC-10. Now, the MAC-10 was definitely the meta, but of course it was replaced by one of the guns that I'm going to mention later on in this list. And because of that specific weapon, you do not see a lot of people running the MAC-10 in their loadouts. You don't see MAC-10s just scatter all across the Verdesky like you used to see. But the MAC-10 is definitely still one of the best weapons to use in Warzone, especially in short to medium range gunfight. This weapon will melt anyone in this distance, and this weapon is great for team white. So for the MAC-10, I actually have 2 separate class setups that I'm going to show for you guys. The first class setup is going to be the Ghost loadout that you see currently on the screen. For your primary weapon, you want to have the MAC-10. For your secondary weapon, it does not matter. I personally run the Diamatis. Now for your perks, this is where you can change it up a little bit. For your perk 1, you can either go with EOD or you can go with double time. Both are great perks to choose, but for this loadout, I decided decided to run EOD just for the time being. For your perk 2, of course, you want to run with Ghost. And for your perk 3, I personally run Tracker because there's really no reason to run Amp, because unless you have a specific weapon that you have, like a secondary weapon, there's no reason to run Amp. But honestly, most of us are going to pick our overkill class, then we're going to go for our Ghost loadout. So if you want to run with Amped on this Ghost loadout side, then you're able to do what you got to do, then that's perfectly fine. For your lethal grenade, you want to go with a Semtex, of course, and for your tactical grenade, you want to go with a heartbeat sensor. Once again, your tactical grenade is up to you. Now I'm going to give you guys the overkill class that I run for the MAC-10. For your primary weapon, of course, you want to have the MAC-10, and the attachments are the exact same as the first loadout. So for your muzzle, you want to go with the agency suppressor. For your barrel, you want to go with the 5.9 task force. For the stock, you want to go with the Raider stock. For the underbarrel, you want to have the field agent grip, and for your ammunition, you want to have the salvo 53 round fast mag. Now the secondary weapon, this what makes this class, in my opinion, definitely one of the best loadouts in season 2 of Warzone, because the AUG is taking over Warzone. It is definitely the meta. So for your secondary weapon, of course, you want to have the AUG, and for your attachments, for the muzzle, you want to have the agency suppressor. For your barrel, you want to have the 17-inch titanium. For your optic, you want to have the Axle Arms 3X. For your underbarrel, you want to have the field agent foregrip, and for the ammunition, you want to have the 45 round drum. And I'm going to explain why you should have all these attachments later on in the video for the AUG. For your perks for the overkill class setup, I personally run with double time, so I'm able to run longer. For your perk 2, you want to have overkill, of course, so then you can have 2 primary weapons. And for your perk 3, you want to have amp, so you're able to switch weapons fast as possible once again. For your lethal, you want to have a Semtex, and for your tactical, you want to have a heartbeat. And just to let you guys know, this is going to be my lethal and tactical for the rest of the loadouts. Coming in at number 3 on this list is a marksman rifle, and this is the Kar 98K. And you guys want to know something that's funny? I don't really snipe like that, but I just thought that this was funny because it was under the marksman rifle class and not the sniper rifle class. But the Kar is definitely the best weapon to use for long range gunfights if you like to snipe. This is the only sniper that people run in their loadouts because it does the most damage and it is the most effective. And honestly, this sniper melts, especially if you have good aim, if you're good at aiming at the chest and the head. As I said before, you really want to have this weapon just for long range gunfights. If you like the quick scope, you can do what you want to do, but I personally just see people use it for long range gunfights, especially in Warzone. Now in this class setup, I'm sorry for the name FFAR and Stoner. This is not an FFAR and Stoner class setup, clearly. For this class setup, you want to have the MAC-10, and just like before, you want to have the same attachments for the MAC-10. Just to go over it again, you want to have the agency suppressor. For the barrel, you want to have the 5.9 task force. For your stock, you want to have the Raider stock. For your ammunition, you want to have the 53 round fast mag. And for your underbarrel, you want to have the field agent grip. For your attachments, once again, I don't really snipe like that, so these are just the attachments that I will personally run. If you guys want a better car loadout, I recommend going to watch someone else who personally does a lot of car loadouts, but I don't think mine is too bad. Now let's look what I have on there. I'm going to have the monolithic suppressor on it, and the suppressor is going to reduce sound and increase the damage range. For my barrel, I'm going to have the 25.1 Sin Guard custom. This is going to increase the damage range more. It's going to increase bullet velocity, and it's going to increase recoil control. For your optic, you want to go with the sniper scope because you're going to be using this weapon to snipe. Now for your stock, I personally went with the STVOL precision cone because it increases your aiming stability, so I'm like, why not? Then for your rear grip, you want to go with the rubberized grip tape. That then it increases your recoil control some more, which is very important when you're sniping. For your perks, you want to run with double time as perk 1, so then you're able to run longer distances. For your secondary perk, of course, you want to run overkill, and for your third perk, you want to run amp. For your lethal grenade, you want to have a Semtex, and for your tactical grenade, you want to have a heartbeat sensor, a flash, a stun grenade, whatever you prefer, but I like to run a heartbeat sensor. Now we're getting to the end of the list. Coming in at number 2, we have the FFAR. If you guys have been living under a rock, I'm just going to tell you this right now. The FFAR is the best assault rifle, and it is the meta in Warzone. This weapon is destroying lobbies. It's destroying pub lobbies. It's destroying pro lobbies. Everyone is using the FFAR. It is literally melting people. It is crushing people right now. A lot of people are asking the weapon to be nerfed, and probably, most likely, the weapon will be nerfed, but right now it's not. So it is definitely the best assault rifle in Warzone, especially in short to medium range gunfight. Now for your attachment, attachments, for the FFAR, you want to go with the agency suppressor. The agency suppressor, it is the best muzzle attachment for any assault rifle right now. I got a major buff and it is absolutely destroying lobbies. This attachment reduces sound, it increases your vertical recoil control, it increases bullet velocity, and it increases your effective damage range. For your barrel, you want to go with the 19.5 task force because it increases your range and bullet velocity some more, and it also increases your strafe speed. You guys know strafing in gunfights is very important in Warzone. For your stock, you want to go with the Raider stock because it gives you the most mobility with the FFAR. It increases your ADS fire and move speed, it increases your ADS walking movement speed, and it increases your sprint to fire time. This is the best stock and you definitely want to have it on your FFAR. For your ammunition, you want to go with the 50 round stagnant mag. It just increases your ammo capacity. You won't be having any fast reloads, but if you're pretty accurate with the weapon, you will not need it. 50 rounds are just enough with this weapon. And for the rear grip, you want to go with the SASR jungle grip. It increases your aim down sight time and it increases your flinch resistance, which is very important for a weapon like this. Now, this is an overkill class for the FFAR. So for the secondary weapon, you want to run with the AUG. Now, this is an overkill class setup. So for your secondary weapon, you want to run with the AUG. I talked about the AUG earlier in the list. You guys know how good it is. For your attachments, you want to go with the agency suppressor. For your barrel, you want to go with the 17-inch titanium. It increases the fire rate. For your optic, you want to go with the axle arms 3 times. For your underbarrel, you want to go with the field agent foregrip. And for your ammunition, you want to go with the 45. You want to go with the 45 round drum. For your perks, for your perk 1, you can choose double time or EOD. I personally am running EOD on this one. For your perk 2, of course, you want to go with overkill. And for your perk 3, you want to run with amp, so you're able to switch weapons as fast as possible. If you feel like you don't need amp, you can go ahead and run with tracker. Tracker is a great perk 3 as well. Now, for this class setup, sometimes I like to run the thermite, so currently I have a thermite on it. If I feel like switching it, I'm going to switch it to the Semtex, of course. And for your tactical grenade, you want to go with the heartbeat sensor. As I said earlier, if you want to use a flash or a stun, there's nothing wrong with that. I just like the heartbeat sensor. And now, number 1 on this list, give me a big drum roll. We have the AUG. The AUG is the meta. I know I said that about the FFAR, but the AUG, I know you guys have seen it. The AUG is a 2-shot burst to the chest and up, and everyone is complaining about the AUG, which is funny because everyone is using it, but everyone is also complaining about it. It is the best weapon in Warzone, honestly, at any range. You can use this weapon in short, medium, and long range gunfight, but you can also use this weapon to hold a position like a door or a hallway, especially if you're playing trios or quads. And this weapon is just absolutely great. It is the best weapon as it stands in Warzone. It's definitely gonna get a nerf, so make sure you guys use this weapon and have fun with it while you can. So for this loadout, it's gonna be a ghost loadout. If you want to use an overkill class, just look earlier in the video. I have overkill classes with the AUG. So for your attachments, it's pretty much the same attachments that you have used in every single loadout up to this point. For your muzzle, you want to have the agency suppressor. For your barrel, you want to have the 17-inch titanium because it increases your fire rate. For your optic, you want to have the axle arms 3 times, and this is the best optic because it gives you the most vision long range, but it's also a great optic for short and medium range gunfights if you ask me. For your underbarrel, you want to go with the field agent foregrip because it increases your vertical recoil control and it also increases your horizontal recoil control. Whenever you put on an underbarrel, it should be used for increasing recoil control. And for your ammunition, once again, you want to go with the 45 round drum. Your secondary weapon, it does not matter because more than likely you're going to pick an overkill class and you're already going to have your secondary weapon, so this can be whatever. Right now I have the 1911. I don't even know why. Now for your perks, once again, for perk 1, you can go with double time or EOD. I am running double time for this loadout. For your perk 2, you want to have ghost, of course, because it's going to keep you off the radar. And for your perk 3, you want to have amp, so that then you're able to switch weapons as fast as possible. For your lethal grenade, you can either go with a Semtex or a thermite. For this loadout, I'm running a thermite. And for your tactical grenade, you can either go with a flash stun or a heartbeat sensor. For this loadout, I am running the heartbeat sensor. Warzone is constantly having having updates that change the landscape of how the game is played. But as it stands, these are without a doubt the best weapons in Warzone. These are also the best classes, and they're honestly my favorite weapons to use currently in the current meta of Warzone. I just said current like 3 times. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, let me know what your favorite weapons are in Warzone, and let me know what are some of your favorite loadouts to currently use in Warzone. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell, because I have a lot more Warzone videos coming up in the future, including gameplay and more Warzone loadouts. Besides that, I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm out.